Good afternoon, Mr. Bridgen. You've flown all the way. No, have you flown? Yes, you've flown all the way over from England to visit Rainer Fulmich in prison. Is it your first time here?
It's the first time at Bremerverde, yes. I've been to Germany before, but I'm here because I don't want people to forget about Rainer. He's got his appeal going on. He's been a great advocate for the truth and justice, and that's why I believe he's been held as a political prisoner. He's uncomfortable for the authorities because he's very erudite. He's a very intelligent man and a great lawyer, and he's dangerous to them. That's why he's been accused falsely of fraud, and he's now being kept in a maximum security prison.
You've been MP in the UK from 2010 till 2023, I believe.
2024.
2024, first for the Conservatives and then later for the Remain Party and then as an independent, as I understand it. You've been on the Corona Investigative Committee platform as well. You were interviewed by Rainer, or am I mistaken?
Yes, I've had several interviews with Rainer, and we were in contact, so I'm aware of the background to his situation, and I believe his human rights are being destroyed, and when anyone in the world loses their human rights, we all lose.
What do you expect from this visit?
I want to see what's Reiner's condition. I want him to tell me if he's being respected in prison, and I will write to the governor if he's got any complaints, and we'll publicise it. It's important that people don't disappear, as they say, into the oubliette, the forget, because it's only public pressure that's going to get Rainer out and stop this injustice being perpetrated across Europe and the world.
All right, we need to go to security, get checked in, and then we'll be back afterwards. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, here we are after the prison visit. We've gone back to the hotel because it was a bit drizzly outside. What was your impression of the visit?
Well, it's always very sad when that heavy metal door clangs shut when the visit's over. It was only an hour. Well, Reiner's in fighting spirit. I'm pleased that his treatment in this prison in Bremerverde is far better than the 18 months he spent previously. I'm disappointed, obviously, that he's had his privileges taken away with spurious complaints from unnamed individuals. He needs to get those back in the next fortnight, and I'm optimistic that he's going to be able to, as he explained with his new legal team, be able to make representations with regard to his pre-trial detention. Bearing in mind he's now already been incarcerated for 2 years. Obviously he's going to dispute the allegations of fraud or embezzlement, but I would very much doubt that anyone in England would be detained, even if they were guilty, for 2 years in those conditions for those allegations. So it's important that people don't forget about Rainer. The reason, let's be absolutely clear, there's only one reason that he's been in high security, maximum security prisons in Germany. There's only one reason why he was abducted from Mexico and brought back to Germany, and that was to silence him and send a message out to those who are speaking against the narrative, those who are exposing the crimes that have been committed against humanity and the public across Europe and the world. And that's what they're doing by continuing this imprisonment of a lawyer who's spoken truth unto power. He's got to be, the public have got to stand behind Rainer Fulmich, whether you're German, whether you're Dutch, whether you're Danish, whether you're English, Scottish or Welsh. He's fighting for all of us. And whenever his human rights and freedom of speech are taken away, we all lose. And I don't want us all to end up like Rainer Fulmich.
Yes. The public has to stand up, and I think personally I would also like to appeal to all the people who have been on his platform to use their networks to do something like you are doing right now. Is there anything concrete more that people can do to your
Well,
opinion?
he's been held for political reasons, so it's politics that actually will get Reiner out. So we all need in our countries to lobby our politicians about the case of Reiner Fuellmich and to put pressure on the German government to release him.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. You've got a train to catch.
I've got a train to catch,
Yeah.
and I will be doing a live stream later when I get back to Hamburg this evening for Denmark.
Yeah, and that can be seen at the Free Reiner Fuellmich channel, I think, isn't it?
I'm not sure. It's through Malou Moncler, so
yeah, it's on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Good evening again. I'm here now with Susan Stanfield from Canada, and Susan has been very vocal and prominent in the, what was it movement again? We're going to cut this out.
Canadian Freedom Movement. I started the protests.
Yeah, okay, we're starting
in April.
I'm here with Susan Stanfield, and she did the Canadian Freedom Movement during Corona, and is the author of the book Betrayed. Right?
Yes.
Yes. And we, together with former UK MP Andrew Bridgen, went to visit Reiner Fuellmich in the prison today. And I'm just going to ask Susan for her reaction.
Well, it was heavy being in a prison, but Reiner seems okay. And the moment we arrived, of course, I think a lot of us maybe felt the same, is how important it is for Reiner's story to get out there. Because when he's in a prison or anyone, they can't speak. So the onus on us to be his voice when he's outside of prison couldn't have been more apparent to me today. In the middle of nowhere in Germany, and nobody knows.
Nobody knows, yes, because you went round yesterday with Andrew Bridgen and asked a couple of Germans in a pub to ask them whether they knew Reiner Fuellmich, and they didn't, you said, or?
I asked people on the airplane, in a hotel, on the train, in other towns I was in the pub. I probably asked about 20 or 30 people, and nobody has heard of his story. But when they brought it up on Facebook, because they looked right away, the Germans, they were shocked. And I could see in their face that they knew they needed to know the story, but they had not heard of it before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We talked for an hour with Reiner about how his case was going and what he's doing. Is there anything the public can do, according to you?
Well, I think Reiner gave us that guidance, right? He is the best person really to lead a campaign, especially since he's so intelligent and legal. There's three basic functions that we all need to participate in, and that is supporting his legal team. So the review of his detention happens as soon as possible. I think that's the big one. So review of his detention, so there's justice for his actual incarceration. The second thing would be his actual work for the investigative committee. Where is that work? And the world needs that work. Mm-hmm. And then thirdly, I would say that everybody in as many countries as possible really get louder and demand justice and answers for Reiner, no matter what country they're in and what language they speak. Mm-hmm. So the world understands, because he's in prison for all of us. It could be any one of us just disappear into a prison like that. Mm-hmm. So I would say those three things: understanding the regular weekly and monthly legal actions that will help Reiner. Secondly is his actual work that he's published. And then thirdly, public relations, getting the story out there. Yeah. And Reiner said those three things to us, right?
Yeah, just a little sharing of information. Yeah. The review of his detention is because he's still in arbitrary detention, effectively, because his appeal has not been decided on yet. He's been in preliminary detention as well, yeah, arbitrary as well.
Yeah, I think that's the other piece maybe that the public can understand, is he called it white torture. And I had not heard that term, white torture, but the fact that Reiner was tortured in the first 18 months. So my husband was kidnapped and tortured for 2 weeks. And I was one of the people that found him and negotiated his release politically. And then we both were involved with the Assange case. And I believe the results that we got, it was a political solution that got Julian out. And that's what we have to force with Reiner. One phone call could get Reiner out of that prison. And so it's really up to the public to not, where a lot of us feel very fatigued around the injustice. It's hard what we've been through for 5 years. Oh, another legal case I've got to study and get excited about, and we just want to live normal lives. That we only need, a few hundred or a few thousand people to start ringing the bell for Reiner to get it to the world's attention again, and to mainstream journalists. So anybody who is connected to mainstream journalism, tell Reiner's story on video. That's something that everybody could do. Everybody has a role to play, no matter how small it is. It matters, and that we all keep believing in that. It matters to care.
Do you believe that mainstream journalists will pick it up?
Well, we have a few now in Canada because they don't trust our government anymore. And they're challenging Mark Carney, our Prime Minister. They can see what he's doing with his policies. They can see they're causing problems, poverty and whatever. So they're always looking for the story. How many of them are allowed to say, but there's a woman, I can't remember what her name is. She's Greek and she's strong. And she's very intelligent. She popped up in the last, I guess, 3 or 4 years. Anyway, I saw her.
In Canada?
Yeah, she would be one of the first people I would go to. There's a journalist named Rosemary Barton who Mark Carney basically humiliated in an interview. I will call Rosemary because he was very impolite to her. So there's a lot circling around that want a story like this, journalists who have the integrity that you do. And whatever platform they can share it on, or even just sharing it with contacts or the new media, it all helps, right?
Yeah, it helps.
But yeah, I think positioned the right way, it is time for mainstream journalists to tell the story around unlawful detainment and torture and imprisonment. I think we can get that on mainstream Canadian news for sure.
Okay.
I think we can. That will be one of my goals.
Yeah. Well, that's very hopeful news, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's by Christmas, right?
By Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, Susan, and we'll see you again.
Well, and let me say to you, so you have this, that it's people like you who you've traveled from another country, you're working so hard, driving the passion and the integrity that someone like you has to tell the story for years.
Says the leader of the Canadian Freedom Convoy.
No, I wasn't involved with the convoy, but well, it takes a certain kind of person to do what you're doing. So thank you for that, because your work benefits the world as well.
Well, likewise.
Thank
you very much.
Okay.
All right. Well, good evening to all of you, and if you can share anything about Reiner Fuellmich, that will help the cause.
Great, thank you. Ian. Okay.